Hey, what's going on, guys? So I wanted to talk to you about Mortal Kombat 11. Now the game has been out for a little bit. We've seen the first patch come into PC. Obviously, I am a PC gamer, so I'm going to be going over a couple of things that I've noticed with the fighting game community, casual things, and how this game was designed. It was meant to be. So before the game came out, they announced, hey, you can do all this customization with all these characters, you can go in the crypt, you can do all these like things, and it's super fun. And then people started bitching about the stuff with the crypt. Oh, I have to grind too much, it's too much of a pain, I don't get things for characters that I want. Okay, fine. And then there's also the competitive aspect of it. Well, so the first thing I want to go through is the crypt stuff. So first off, the crypt is fair. It's super fucking fair, and I'm going to tell you why it's fair and kind of go over that with you. It may not just be what you want to do, but it's fair. So the crypt has these things where, alright, so when you go to this, you can do the story mode. Story mode kind of, in my opinion, kind of stunk, but I went through, I got some coins, I got some stuff. They gave you the $500,000 bonus for the game being too hard and the crypt and whatever. But as it stands right now, Towers of Time is perfectly fair. So every day they change these things and whatever. So you have all these different towers. You don't really need to do the hardest ones most of the time. You could just go to the one, so like this one, hard. I have no desire for that. I don't care. I'm gonna go to a medium tower, right? I'm just gonna do this shit. I'll get some stuff. I'll get 6,000 coins. Whatever. It's cool. I'm down with that. I'm not gonna do the hardest ones. Everyone's like, well, the hard ones are so hard. Well, okay, so they're tough. So be it, but you make the decision. Or I could do this one. These are mediums. I'm alright with that. I'm straight. Fine. Point being is the purpose of the game has been to get you to do these little tasks, right? Like do 6 uppercuts in a round, do 3 throws. And the purpose of this game is it's single player. This is the single player experience. This is not the competitive experience. They're not going to give you all the costumes and everything in one big spiel, but that's okay that they're not doing that. And I think people think that that's not acceptable. I want it for my character and this and that. In the old Mortal Kombat games, you would grind and you would go through the crypt and you had no idea or concept of what was in anything. That's kind of how the crypt is designed now. They made this game in an age where the internet tells you information in a week, right? So if someone went through the crypt, somebody somewhere has finished the whole crypt and done it. They would just upload it to the internet and say, hey, here it is. This is where everything is. Go do it. And you wouldn't have to work hard. Mortal Kombat NetherRealm Studios has created a game for a current generation of people that is spoiled, that wants to know where everything is. And guess what? This is kind of like a flashback to the old Mortal Kombat games before technology was so up and running. It was just like, you earned what you earned. You got what you got. And that's what it was. And that's what this game is. If you want to get the costumes, if you want to do everything, you have to play single player mode. You have to go through this experience. If you don't care about your costumes, if you don't really care about that stuff, go play multiplayer. And that's fine. They don't owe you anything. You know, the game is fair. If you want to earn the stuff, it's here. You don't have to pay. You can play the game. And it does take some time. Yes, it's a grind. It's totally a grind. But that's okay. You know, it's okay. They don't owe you anything. And the crypt is fun. It's fun just like it was in MKX. It's fun just like it was in all the other ones. So with this balance change, yes, you have to do some grinding, but if you care about the costumes, they're making you work for it. And I think that's justified. I think that's fair. And they tell you kind of how to unlock things. They say, go play story, go play Towers of Time, or go play classic towers, or go, you find it in the crypt. They tell you generally how to do it. If you want to get that Scorpion costume or Raiden or whatever, and it tells you crypt, you better plan to level up, get that money, and devour the crypt. And that's okay. They're not giving you the answer. They're telling you how to do the work. They're not giving you the answer. And this day and age, everyone just, oh, I want it right away. It's not like that. Life isn't like that. So, work hard, get your stuff. It's there, and the game's fun, and it teaches you. You can learn combos and stuff while you're doing the single player stuff, and that can kind of be your training mode if you're a competitive person. The next thing that I want to talk about real quick is, so the Crypt, I think it's fair. You know, if you want the stuff, it's there for you, and it's not that hard to get the money and then go into the Crypt and spend a couple grand, you know. So the next thing I want to talk about with this game is actually one of my gripes with this game is a lot of people are spreading false information about this game. So I'm going to call out people right now. Tom Brady, Tom Brady, who is like the Sub-Zero, posted a video like, oh guys, you can get this guaranteed damage if you do this slide, and they can't break away from it. And like a week later, he corrects himself and he's like, oh, actually you can't. So a lot of times now people are flocking to YouTube and just telling all this information, and they're spreading information about Mortal Kombat. Like, oh, this combo is really good because it does this, and like they can't escape the combo, and like he's a pressure character, and this and this and this. And every Joe Schmo out there is trying to make a name for themselves and just talk about the game and be like, this is it guys, this is the good stuff. And they're just some generic guy who makes YouTube videos that doesn't really know what they're talking about. Or they could be someone that's really good, but the game has been out for 2 days and they may not know everything. So my point with this is, find things on your own. Do your own research for the game, because that's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to feel and learn the experience, is play it on your own. So one other thing that I did notice about this game is the reaction times, and the fact that the game still has a strong issue with reacting to things. And I'm going to go over and explain why that is a thing, and why NetherRealm Studios made this game like this. So if we take a look at frame data, we'll just go over basic attacks, right? So a standing light attack, which is the equivalent of a Street Fighter move, right? So we'll just look at a couple basic buttons and compare them to, let's say, Street Fighter or Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, Dragon Ball Z, whatever. So the startup of the fastest move that we see here, the fastest move is 6 frames of startup. In Street Fighter, that move is 3 or 4 frames, right? That's the fastest move in the game. So on an average, we're doubling our time of them taking for the move to come out from when we hit it. It's going to take a little longer, and that's the fastest thing I have. That's fast, right? The problem is that because it's slower than a Street Fighter button, or let's say a Smash Brothers Melee button, it's coming out slower. So when I hit that button, it's not coming out as fast. So when I react to something, or when I'm doing something, I'm like, oh, I see something, I'm gonna hit a button. You have less time to react to the situation that happens because of the startup frames on the normals. So, for example, a crouching, let's just say an anti-air, an average simple should work anti-air button, we'll say with Baraka or whatever character you want to use for that comparison, is, we'll say 9 to 12 frame average, just throwing a number. So because this startup is 10 frames for his crouching too, right? So in a game like Street Fighter that's more based on reactions, anti-airs are anywhere between probably 3 and 7 frames on an average. So if you're playing Ryu or Ken or Sagat or any of those characters that does a Shoryuken, or maybe DJ, I think his is like 9 or 10 frames for his EX up kicks, just making comparisons. Or we'll even bring up to Street Fighter 5, reversals are 4 or 5 frames with Nakali or Cammy, or what have you. Or even sometimes in anime games, moves are faster, or they're, if you play a game like Power Rangers, move have air invincibility, so it stops things if you don't perfectly time things. So the game's engine equates that. So just on a basic jump-in situation, I have now basically 4 or 5 less frames to work with because my startup is increased. So what this game creates is committed-based actions. So if I now have, let's say, this cold encounter string, right? I do this thing. I can cancel into my freeze, but I can't confirm and then do my freeze. So if you look at my inputs, I'm doing the motion after, but if I do it before I see it hit, I can get the combo. And that's the ultimate problem with the game from a competitive level, is the things that you're doing aren't reads. You're not seeing things that happen and then deciding to do them. You're not really hit confirming. You're seeing this situation and being like, I'm pretty sure this is going to work, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit to this action before it really happens. From this range, you can probably play reaction, because you can react to projectiles that are thrown, for instance, with Sub-Zero, and you can do that. From these ranges, you can react. That's why this game gives you stupid moves like this that just kind of get you in and just let you bully your opponents. So a lot of characters have this kind of move. So Kotal Khan has that move, Shao Kahn has that move, Baraka has that kind of move, where they can just stampede their way in, and you just have to kind of like deal with it if you weren't prepared for the move in advance. So if you're not looking for those kinds of moves, you just kind of take it. You're just kind of like, oh, well, I'm dealing with it. Here I am. Now I got to deal with it. And then I have to do my little proc string here, and I can do my little combo, whatever, follow up, do my thing, and I have to commit to these actions before the actions appear on my screen. Whereas in most fighting games, you can see something and then be like, yeah, you're stupid, you did this. And this was kind of the problem that people had going from Street Fighter 5 to Street Fighter 4. So that's my biggest beef with this game, but I don't feel on a casual level that's a problem, because the game, in my opinion, was designed for casuals. Mortal Kombat is designed to be a fun game, and that's exactly why it was made this way and how it was made this way and why this single player experience is so phenomenal as compared to, let's say, Street Fighter 5 or Dragon Ball FighterZ. This game was designed to be a great single player experience. It was designed to have this grind fest and all this stuff because it's fun to customize your characters and then take your customized characters, buff them, put them through the towers of time so you can get through this experience easier. Mortal Kombat 11 was designed to be casual. It was designed to have a good story and have a good structure. It was designed to have a really fun towers of time where you grind, and every day you log on and you check in and you see these different things going on. It was designed to have a Crypt experience where you're walking through and you're like, oh, I'm going to unlock this and I wonder what I'm going to get in the chest. Or classic towers that if you wanted to play it like you used to on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, it was designed for that. It was not designed to go in, play, practice, and have this extensive training mode. Right, this extensive, amazing training mode. And if you compare this training mode to, let's say, Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 4, Dragon Ball FighterZ for the recordings, your options aren't really